So, part 2 of the series of trying out Huel alternatives, some meal replacement alternatives. So, last week we did the Protein Works, and now we're going to try Why Food. Quite like the name, Why Food. Although they then put all over the branding, this is food. And I thought for a long time the name of it was actually This Is Food. But this is food. Again, really, really simple ordering process, very, very quick. These guys, basically it's two guys that I think basically got fed up with Huel cornering the market and decided they could do something better. So they decided to have a go themselves. If you look at their blurb, I always find website bios a little bit cringe. And they're like, oh, we tried it the first time and everything was nutritionally perfect, but it tasted horrible. And you think, you probably would have checked that beforehand, wouldn't you? But anyway, these are meant to be nutritionally perfect, everything in it that you could possibly need to survive. You could eat these for everything. As I've said before, and some of this will be recapping what's in other videos, so if I go a little bit quickly over why I'm doing this, please feel free to go and have a look at the other videos. But essentially, I'm not using this to replace oral food. I like food. I've had comments on my channel going, oh, is it human fuel or hipster gruel? Yeah, it's not funny. And you're just coming and being mean on a channel for no reason. If you're not interested in it, why are you looking at reviews of it? But anyway, positivity. I like food, and that's possibly part of the problem, that I like food a little bit too much, and I do tend to overindulge sometimes. So I use this just to help control my calories a little bit, and that's easier with something that tastes good. So I've been using Huel for a couple of years, and I just thought it's worth looking at what else is out there. If you're doing the same thing for years, try other things. So Why Food, they do a taster pack. So basically they've got two parts to their main brand, either the ready-made shakes or the powder, very similar to lots of other variants as well. Their ready-made shakes come in two sizes, so they come in 500ml bottles and they come in 330ml bottles, which I think is quite clever. It's just the fact if you don't want to have a huge bottle, or if you want a smaller meal, if you want a number of smaller meals throughout the day, then you can. If you want to have a fewer bigger meals, meal replacements, then you can. And then you've got the shake, which they've got a recommended serving size, but you could always work it up or down to decide what you're after. So this was see, this is what I mean. They call themselves Why Food and then have This Is Food all over everything. And then that's the powder. And then because I'm ordering with them for the first time, they give me a booklet to show everything, and I thought they were sending me a shaker. Definitely ordered a shaker. Oh, sad times. And I don't need a shaker, I've got lots of others, but I definitely ticked the box that said I'd like a free shaker. I'll get in contact with them and see what they have to say. I thought it was going to be wrapped up in here, but no, this is wasteful packaging design. They could have packed this better. I will say that. Like, I'm reviewing everything about this, and I just think that's actually quite wasteful packaging design. They only do it in 1.5 kilogram bags. Every bag has 17 meals, so it's about the same size. I'd say it's probably about the same size as a Huel bag. Does mean if you're living in a small apartment, if you're a student, if you have got limited space, that's going to take up quite a lot of space. It's not going to take up as much space as 5 drinks, because that's 17 meals. This is 5. I don't know actually what size. Yeah, I don't know what size bottles they send you in the taster pack. Oh, the 500 ones. Basically looks like Yazoo. I mean, that really looks like Yazoo. Or what's the other one? There's Yazoo and there's another milkshake thing. Now, yeah, speaking of milkshakes, so where some of the others are oat-based, these are purely milk-based. So it is really a milkshake. It's these, when you read the ingredients, there doesn't seem to be, there are some gluten-free oat fibers, but considering they're down below the 2.8%, I think that's more just to add a bit of fiber rather than actually providing any substantive bulk to it. So these are just milkshakes. So I'll be really interested to see how well these claim. Their big claim is you will feel full for 3 to 5 hours. Now, I would argue that after eating almost anything, you should probably feel full for at least 3 hours. So I don't think that's that big a claim, but these claim to keep you full and satisfied for 3 to 5 hours. For the 500ml bottles, you would need to have, and I wrote this down because there was lots of detail, you'd need to have 4 a day of these to be able to keep your 2,000 calories and keep all your nutrients up. For the 330ml bottles, you'd need 6 a day, and for the shakes, you'd need 5 a day. In terms of cost, £3.50 a bottle, so £3.50 a meal. Same cost as going to most supermarkets and getting a packet of sandwiches, but that's still relatively expensive. £1.75 a meal, so literally half price. So you're paying twice the price for the water and the bottle that it comes in. And then the smaller bottles are £3 a bottle, but actually that's even worse value. So although I think the fact that they do the smaller bottles is a good idea, there's more waste, it's more expensive, and it will take up a lot of space. Because considering, so this is 1 day's worth of meals. If you were going to do this as your entire replacement, that's 1 day's worth of meals, which seems to me to be quite a lot of space to take up. And if you're going to go out for the day, you're not going to want to carry around 2.5 litres of extra fluid. Right, anyway, I'm going to try these. I went with a wild card for the flavour because all of the basic flavours are in this box, so I'll try those flavours. I went for wild card flavour apple cinnamon because one of my favourite Huel flavours is awesome apple pie. So I want to see how this compares. It's a flavour. I actually did deliberately pick this one so I could compare it to something else that I know. But yeah, we'll try these over the next few days and we'll see how they go. I'm also going to do, once I've kind of done a range, I think, so I've got 3 on order and I've tried Huel and I've tried Huel. I'm going to do a overarching review looking at 5 different meal replacements, comparing cost, comparing package size, comparing shipping, and actually looking at how it all comes together and which I would actually recommend and probably which one I'll go forward with. But that'll come in the weeks down the line. So if you'd like to see that, please subscribe. But right, let's get to trying some of these. So first one of trying Y Food. This is food. I'm assuming, I think the company name is Y Food, but everything is quite clearly branded with this is food. It just seems slightly mixed messaging, but yeah, let's go cold brew coffee. I haven't had any coffee this morning, so we'll go with that. These are the 500ml bottles. Cold brew coffee plus 100 milligrams caffeine. Don't know what that compares to in terms of actual levels of caffeine. I'm going to look that up and I'll see how much caffeine that is compared to a normal cup of coffee. In here, there is 500 calories. So basically, the idea is 4 of these a day, or 5 for somebody of my size. And 5, yeah, it takes up quite a lot of space. Let's try this. I'm still getting very strong Yazoo vibes off this, even down to the foil top. And it even tastes like Yazoo. It's good. Tastes like almost every other cold brew coffee with milk drink that you might get, like the Starbucks Frappuccinos or the Jimmy's coffee if you're in the UK. It's nice, it's smooth. There are no oats in here. It's entirely whey based. I think there is a little bit of oat fibre to give you a little bit of fibre in there. But yeah, it definitely doesn't have that oaty grittiness. It's tasty, it's nice. But it's a fairly familiar, there's not a lot of real coffee in there, as it were. But yeah, no, that's good. It's very easily drinkable. It's a nice thickness where it's kind of definitely milkshakey thickness that yeah, leaves you feeling like you've had something to drink rather than just being a little bit too liquidy. But let's try another one at lunch. I might try the shake at lunch and see how smooth that mixes up, because it should be a pretty smooth shake. But yeah, I'll finish this and I'll see you back here at lunch. So, time for our second meal with Y Food. This is food. I know it's getting a bit old that I'm confused whether it's called Y Food or This is Food, but this is their powder. I went for a flavour they didn't have in their shake selection, so it's their apple cinnamon. I really like, so Huel does one called Awesome Apple Pie, so I wanted to see how this compared to that. They only come in a big bag size, which I talked about in one of my previous videos. So I was really pleased with one of the other companies that does a smaller bag. So you can try a smaller bag. I think there are 17 meals in this bag. I'll check on that. And it does come with a scoop. I think I've got a scoop in there. Yeah. It smells very cinnamony. However, I also mentioned in the introduction that it didn't come with a shaker. That I was a bit disappointed by that. I got in contact with them that evening, and within about 2 days, my YFood shaker turned up. So they've actually got a dosing calibration on the shaker, as well as normal mils and ounces and stuff. But my only issue is they put the powder in first, and I've often found if you put the powder in first, it doesn't mix perfectly. I might have to try that at some point. But yeah, I was impressed with their customer service. They just got back to me straight away, said, really sorry it wasn't in the packet, and let's send it out. So I haven't done the dosing this way. I've just put 300 ml water in, and I'm going to add 3 scoops of their powder. The other thing that I discovered yesterday after filming the video was that I'd said it's entirely milk-based, and it is entirely milk-based. What confuses me slightly is that it's entirely milk-based, but lactose-free. And I'm not quite sure how that works, but it seems to. Maybe it's my misunderstanding, because it is whey-based, so maybe the lactose isn't contained in the whey. I don't know. It's also got a screw lid, so it's quite nice that it's reassuring that I know when it's on, so it's not going to go everywhere. Yeah, ingredients: milk protein, vegetable oil, chicory root fibres, gluten-free oat fibres, apple juice powder, and cinnamon, and then all your other bits and pieces. Yeah, pouch contains 17 servings. Definitely, it's interesting. It's more appley and more cinnamony than the apple pie Huel. The texture from the ready mix is really thick and creamy and viscous and very nice and milkshakey. This isn't as thick, but you could easily just add in less water. The flavour is nice, but it's subtle. It's actually not hitting me in the face so much. It smells much stronger than it tastes, but it is very smooth, and there's none of that grittiness or oatiness that you get with Huel. It's nice. I'll say it's actually much nicer than I expected it to be. I think part of that is the fact that it actually has some real apple and some real cinnamon in there. That's good. I'm impressed with that. Right, I'm going to try this, and then I'll come back for lunch. So we're here for the final trial of the YFood This Is Food shakes powders. I had the powder mix this morning, and yeah, it was very liquidy. It was actually really thirst quenching. I was surprised some of them you can end up feeling like you need a drink alongside it, because it's not, they just feel quite thick and quite heavy. Whereas this one, actually, I felt really like I just had a good drink, and I didn't get hungry afterwards. I thought I would, but I didn't get hungry immediately afterwards. What I would say, I think all of them will probably benefit from being really nice and cold. And so with the ready-made shakes, I'd say probably keep them in your fridge. You don't need to store them in your fridge, but it would just make them a bit nicer for them to be cold. I'm going to try the crazy coconut, because this is a flavour I haven't tried in any of the other variants. It is still very definitely a Yazoo bottle. Apparently the Alpine chocolate is really good. I've read a few reviews on that, whereas people have said that the berry is a little bit underwhelming. I think this is something that I'm spotting, that with the YFood, there is a lot more natural flavouring in here. Benefit of natural flavouring, obviously very healthy and good for you. The downside to natural flavouring is you need more of it to be able to actually get the flavour through. And so particularly for the berry, I've heard people say it feels quite washed out, because if they were to add enough berries that it really tasted strongly a berry, there'd be too many calories in there. So be interested to try this coconut one. There isn't a berry in here, else I'd be trying that and telling you what I thought. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's good. Again, not overwhelming flavours. I think with any of them, when I say not overwhelming, I don't mean bad. I just mean it doesn't hit you in the face with that strong punch of flavour. So it doesn't taste sickly. It doesn't taste too intense, which some of them can do. These taste natural and sort of, any word that I'm thinking of, like not overwhelming or subdued, makes it sound bad, but I just mean it's not hit you in the face with flavour. It does have that very desiccated coconut, that slightly sweetened coconut. If you're in the UK, think like a Bounty Bar type coconut flavour. But it's good, it's subtle, it's nice. These definitely have that slightly thicker milkshake profile, whereas the powder is definitely that runnier, liquidy profile. They're interesting. I actually really like these and I've been quite impressed. I've been very impressed with their customer service. I'd say the only real negative was the sheer volume of packaging that they put in with my original package, and then when my shaker arrived it came wrapped in a whole lot of extra paper. But those are minor things and things that they can then address in the future. As I've said before, I'm going to do a roundup and a conclusion of all the different Huel alternatives. But I think this is good. I think I would be tempted to order this again. I do think the pre-made shakes are expensive, but that's just because I've been very used to just buying powders. But actually, for a real quick grab and go, it might be worth having a few in the fridge. I think they've got a 12-month or 18-month shelf life, so you just have a few in the fridge. So on those days when time is really short, you can just grab them and take them with you. But thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions about this, please put it in the comments below. If you'd like to see more, and I've got a couple more reviews on Huel alternatives coming up, if you'd like to see them, please subscribe. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.